The roadside was full of jewels. Yeah, I got lucky here in the Jumping Pound Creek Valley. I came around a curve in the road and the ditch was absolutely full of these sparkling lights. The sun was at the perfect angle for it too, and they were bright against the shadows. What was it? That was frost. It was thousands of tiny microscopic prisms that were breaking the morning light into its colors. So at a meadow just up the road, I got out and crawled around for a closer look. Up close, they were pretty easy to see. Most of them were very tiny, like these ones on this blade of grass. But some were about the size of fish scales, like these guys. Without the sun shining through them, they didn't look all that jewel-like. But frost is pretty anyway, and so is ice. So I stopped at this little side channel on Jumping Pound Creek for a closer look there, too. I found this skeletal leaf that was just covered with crystals. But I didn't linger long. I didn't have a whole lot of time for exploring today, so I continued on up Sibbald Creek and stopped wherever I saw anything even kind of interesting. The creek itself was burbling along, a little bit of leftover snow from last week's storm. This beaver house is absolutely massive. Downstream, the water is still flowing freely, but further up, it's frozen over. And it will stay that way until next spring in this perpetual shade up here. As will my favorite little waterfall. So I went to have a look. Yeah, it's in the shade, but not frozen yet. And not very much water either. It was just barely a trickle. Not a surprise, really. It ain't a Niagara at the best of times. It's only about waist high, which makes it easy to photograph all the leaves and stuff that have fallen into the water. Such a pretty little spot. I love giving it a visit. There was a bit of thin ice over on Sibbald Meadows Pond, so I stopped to photograph that too. Found these backswimmers spinning around. Lots of life underneath the water. Lots of life underneath the water in the beaver pond too. I'd seen a bit of movement when I'd driven by earlier, so I went back for another look. Turned out to be spawning brook trout. Absolutely gorgeous fish. And big too. But I had to get back to town, so I hopped in the truck and headed down the road. But, you know, there was one more place I wanted to look. Like the beaver pond and the little waterfall, this piece of Jumping Pound Creek is in perpetual shade through the winter too. And I found all this beautiful splash ice. Though this was cheating a bit. This was the only ice in the creek. But I do love splash ice. It's kind of jewel-like itself. And there were golds and emeralds and sapphires in the colors along the creek. And rubies, along with a touch of amber in the roses along the banks. Yeah, jewels are pretty easy to find in the foothills at this time of year. You just gotta keep your eyes on the roadsides.